It is with a heavy heart that I admit to myself that Christmas has come and gone. You see, Christmas is a time for family. It's a time for sharing. It's a time for giving. It's a time for children to give their Christmas money to Ubisoft. This Christmas, children everywhere were treated to some special Yuletide pedo caches, just to make sure that any spare Christmas money that they had went to a good cause. Ubisoft's share value. This Christmas, Ubisoft gave kids exactly what they think all children want. Gambling. I guess it's always Christmas in the fucking division. Ho, ho, fucking ho. I guess it's time I started playing catch up with the division in 2018. Christmas was fucking excellent. I had a case of whiskey to drink. I had my Christmas dinner to eat. No, really, that was my Christmas dinner. I'm not even fucking kidding. I tried to persuade everyone I know with young kids and fragile elderly relatives that Bad Santa was a really sweet family movie and that they should sit down and watch it together after Christmas dinner.
You are really Santa, right?
No, I'm an accountant. I wear this fucking thing as a fashion statement, alright?
I spent the day drawing cocks on Christmas cards and shooting my brand new Nazi machine gun. Lots of people name their favourite gun after girls, and since this is a German gun, I thought long and hard and decided to call mine Hitler. After Emily Hitler from St. Louis, Missouri. She was featured in that great documentary by Morgan Spurlock, Meet the Hitlers. I thoroughly recommend you check it out. The link's down in the description. Fuck, I bet some of you sly bastards assumed for a second there I was naming it Hitler after that German dictator. Jesus, give me some fucking credit. How dare you? Anyway, I would also like to thank everyone for their patience whilst I've been taking a short winter break from making videos. Your messages over Christmas have been a constant reminder that I'm still in people's thoughts. Despite not having made a video since December, I'm still getting threats and hate mail almost daily, and minions from the community mind control police are still stalking me on social media like a gang of desperate fucking golems who mistakenly think I've stolen their fucking ring. Anyway, break time is officially fucking over. And thank you for waiting whilst I took a break, got shit-faced, set up my Twitch channel, and psyched myself up for the year ahead. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and whilst I'm here, Happy fucking Easter. Let's crack on. First off, I wanted to discuss the new community cringe format state of the game. It was the usual bollock-splitting roller coaster ride of unfucking restrained hilarity. I love their new intro sequence, a big tension-building montage immediately followed by a hard cut to the vaguely fucking perplexed and startled-looking Petter. I think they wanted it to look like this. Although somehow it keeps reminding me of this. The Ambush global event is now live, and we are getting 3 new airsoft masks. Bug, Cage, and Haze. And the opportunity to run another 10 million fucking Lexington runs in under a week. Just like in the last global event. Yeah, we did 10 fucking million Lexington runs in the last global event.
So 10,869,470 completions of Lexington. We also looked at the completions of Lexington since the game was actually released. It's actually at something like 110 million completions lifetime, which means that about 10% of those were done this week. I'll give you a minute to think about that. Which is both hilarious and kind of sad, so maybe we're going to have to see how we handle the next global event so you don't have to farm one mission over and over again all the time.
I know Yannick is pretty disturbed by this figure. Hamish thinks it's fucking hysterical. Then again, he can afford to. He works on NGON these days and only shows up for 30 minutes a week so he can trick the community into thinking he hasn't left. I'm not quite sure why you would name a podcast after the Vietnamese word for succulent, though. After all, Vietnam is a country where they eat dog. Hey, I'm not a public relations expert, so what the fuck do I know? I was desperately hoping they would readjust the GE credits to make other locations more attractive, but it seems there has been no change. On the plus side, Hudson Refugee Camp appears to be the most efficient run at the moment for solo players running in random groups. That's frankly a cunting relief. Because it's not like we did 10 million Hudson runs in a previous global event. Apparently, it was only about 7 million. So when Vlammenzee described global events as a Lexington fucking simulator, he wasn't far from the truth. Then State of the Game segued into the new community content section, where they showed some cool art from the players. I can't list them all, but my personal highlights, not necessarily based on merit, were these. The hipster Yannick drawn by Retro Hurricane. Yannick correctly, well, fucking pedantically, pointed out that the defence build and a shotgun don't normally go together. He should know. I've never seen him solo anything tougher than the base of operations without a shield clasped tightly in his grubby mitt. Anyway, something tells me that the next picture Retro draws of Yannick will be slightly less flattering. Never be rude to the fucking chef, Yannick. But my favourite was Splinter Shield holding the Nier Automata axe. I love Nier Automata. Since getting that game, I found I no longer need to spend so much time gluing mirrors onto my shoes and hanging around women's toilets. Alright, calm down. I don't want to trigger any Nier fans. Calm your tits. I was considering sending in some of my own cosplay collection, but I didn't want to be confused with creepy Speedo guy. Eddie Happy Viking did a nice mashup of Dark Zone footage with David Attenborough narrating over the top.
Scavenging from others. It's a meagre existence, and the worst of the winter is still to come.
I liked it, but it just wasn't realistic. Every time I've been to the DZ, someone has shouted something racist at me and threatened to fuck my mum in the arse. Perhaps if they found some footage of David Attenborough squealing, "How'd you like that shit, you faggot bitch," in a high-pitched voice, it would have seemed more authentic. Junglist DEMZ suggested Snoop Dogg should have done the narration. It certainly would have been language that I more closely associate with my experiences of the DZ. Enrique Barth Clinton sent in a video of him dancing in Westside Pier, which was incorrectly described by PETA as the Underground. Easy mistake to make. I don't know the difference between Villa Verde and La Cruz in Ghost Recon Wildlands either, because I don't play that game. When corrected by chat, PETA wisely commented, "How can we ever be sure about anything?" Well, I won't claim to be able to fully resolve PETA's existential fucking crisis in one fucking sentence. But I can say this. That is Westside Pier, you daft bugger. Check the fucking mission text. The other big clue is obviously, it's fucking Westside Pier. Fuck, even I spotted that mistake. Interestingly, Yannick mentioned that a lot of street art in the Division was actually designed by real graffiti artists who have barely seen the spotlight. Hopefully we can get some of the guys on State of the Game, conditional on them getting the location correct, of course. Seriously though, this is exactly the kind of shit people want to see on State of the Game. Interviews with the street artists, with decent fucking well thought through questions would be excellent. Who doesn't want to see interviews with a bunch of genuinely interesting guests who can then immediately start vandalising the studio with graffiti? It's a fucking brilliant idea. Finally, Lieutenant BuzzLitebeer gets some of the love he deserves for his Back to the Past video series. For those of you living under a fucking rock, Buzz is a veteran YouTuber covering The Division. He's spent a lot of time working on an authoritative history of The Division, one patch at a time. If you're a long-time player of the game, or a newcomer interested in the evolution of The Division into its current mess/form, then Back to the Past is, in my opinion, a must-see video series. I've plastered links below in the description. After that, Petter made good on his threat to bring in Christmas hats. But the winner of the stupid Christmas hat competition goes to Hamish, because he looked like a fucking elf and he wasn't even trying. Seriously, how do you end up accidentally looking like an elf? They rounded the show off by discussing the living video game meme that is Fei Lao, and for Petter's benefit, she's the woman in the base of operations who's had a busted leg and eye since the game began. And just in case you get lost again, Petter, the base of operations is in New York. That's in America. Fuck, I'd offer to send in money to have her fixed in game, but the last time I sent money in to pay for Hamish's exotic bolt-action sniper rifle, it got pissed away on vegan shampoo made from dog's piss. Anyway, they rolled out Tony the Reindeer, senior producer and veteran druid from Redstorm. He explained that Fei Lao is fucked and not going to be fixed, because it costs more than 20 quid to do it, and all that money has been earmarked for developing more pedo caches for Easter. Yeah, I fucking called it. There will be limited time only pedo gambling caches for children at Easter. You fucking bet your ass there will be. Then they showed an uncredited video of an agent walking around beautiful scenes of New York with melancholic music playing. Although I couldn't help but notice he was sporting a rather fine selection of cosmetic items from the recent loot crates. Is that technically product placement or stealth advertising? Anyway, it was a very nicely done and atmospheric video. Strangely, however, the most beautiful, wise and perfectly delivered moment of the State of the Game came almost at the very end of the atmospheric music video. Valka TV typed the following message in chat. Ban cheaters and correct bugs, please. Yeah, sometimes the most fucking sage wisdom is delivered in the fewest possible words. Valka TV, you nailed it, mate. So what else has been going on in The Division? I will be doing an in-depth autopsy on 1.8 in its full, glorious and, frankly, regularly morbid detail in a following video, but I thought I would quickly touch on a few topics that seem to be popping up repeatedly, like a 14-year-old's unwanted erection at the back of the fucking school bus. Massive have been taking a more aggressive stance on the subject of anti-cheat and the issue of hacking in recent weeks. By aggressive stance, I mean anyone posting about it or complaining about cheating on the Ubisoft forums will get the post immediately locked, and repeat offenders risk having a forum ban. Every march begins with the first step, I guess. Maybe. Personally, I've never understood why people would need to sing that fucking low and use paid hacks in The Division. Surely it's quicker and cheaper just to use the existing game exploits and loadout bugs to increase your DPS and toughness by 500%. Or just buy a Cronus Max. Talking of Cronus Max, there is some hot news on limiting the in-game advantages provided by using mouse and keyboard on the console version of the game. An inside source at Massive told me in the strictest confidence, and I quote, "Nobody gives a fuck. I'm spending the rest of the day working on Avatar, and then we're going to the pub at 3 o'clock. I don't know how you got this email address, but please stop contacting me." I will reluctantly admit I made up the quote. But we all know that in every important sense, it's still fucking true. Nobody fucking cares. And if you see anyone claiming anything different on the forums about the Cronus Max, just remember that they were crying tears of fucking laughter into their keyboard whilst they typed that, and then probably went back to work on Avatar. On the subject of console, the Xbox One X patch for The Division deserves a quick mention. The current plan of action is to say the words, "We are working on it, but we don't have a date yet," in every state of the game for the rest of fucking eternity. Hopefully they'll be able to keep saying, "We are working on it, but we don't have a date yet," right up until the moment that they start saying, "We finally have a release date for The Division 2. Healer delay is still a thing, as are nearly all other healer revive support station bugs that have been reported over the last year. They say that being consistent is the key to success. I'm pretty fucking sure they did not say being consistently fucking broken is the key to success. I think this needs a little bit of work. The inventory bug is still a thing. Sharing is caring. Well, in The Division, sharing means breaking your cunting inventory database and requires you to eventually fucking relog or you will run out of inventory space because it's been filled up with invisible loot items. Nice one. I personally experience this all the time and it is a fucking pain in the arse. On the plus side, my new weapons are fucking awesome. Thanks to Corrupt B and Random Mango for giving me my house. I am in your debt, guys. I feel like I am now officially part of Harry Potter history now that I own that gun, which is named after the houses at Hogwarts Academy. Guys, thank you sincerely. The movement changes are totally getting on my tits. Look, I spent all Christmas drunk in real life, and now I have to be drunk in game too. Bumping into things in real life is something I'm fucking used to doing, but I don't need to do it in a fucking video game as well. Increase the fucking turning circle, for fuck's sake. It's really annoying the piss out of people, and at one point was described as a mistake. Well, if it's a fucking mistake, take it out in the next patch. I couldn't finish this video without at least commenting on the time-limited Christmas pedo caches that were on sale over Christmas. I'm sorry, but giving us 5 free pedo keys is not getting anyone off the hook. I felt that pedo caches, launched specifically to hoover up the surplus money that people would give to kids at Christmas, demonstrated a newfound level of cynicism. Let's not forget that this is a game where we were promised there would be no microtransactions. Then we had encrypted caches, then version 2 of encrypted caches, and by Christmas we had 3 different pedocache product lines in the in-game store. Targeting children's Christmas money with gambling loot crates is an all-time low for The Division, and the people involved with it should be fucking ashamed. What are their plans next? Hanging around playgrounds giving away free samples of heroin to kids? It would also appear that in Pedocache version 2 they are hiding the details of the duplicates so we can't work out that we're constantly being given the same pair of fucky shoes by mistake. I wish they would stop embarrassing themselves with this shitty money grubbing and go out and pay a fucking designer to create some high quality cosmetics and then sell them to us. That's not so hard. It should be clear by now that there is going to be a reckoning regarding loot crates, gambling in video games, and the loot algorithms behind them. Now might be the perfect fucking time for Ubisoft to rethink its position, because a day will come, maybe this year, maybe next year, but a day will come when someone will turn up at head office with a court order demanding to see loot algorithms and sales statistics. They might want to get their house in order long before that day happens. With all this aside, I would also like to say that so far, patch 1.8 and the global events are still proving to be a success. I might not entirely agree with the officially endorsed and policed narrative that the Division is now absolutely fucking perfect and we should be fucking grateful after nearly 2 years of waiting. Is it as great as some people say? Fuck no. But it's proving popular. But let's go into the gory detail of that issue at a later date. The big discussion at the moment is Division 2 versus the Division expansion. Or as some people are framing it, dear fucking Lord, don't do a Destiny 2. My thoughts on this are well known, but for those of you who haven't heard, Division 2, in my opinion, should be an expansion of the Division. Let us keep our shit, please. Let us keep our patches, our achievements, in-game microtransactions, and let's build on what we have. Sadly, I fear the seductive commercial gains of a discrete, separate game where they can snaffle away everything we paid for and sell it back to us will prove too appealing. So, hopeful me wants an expansion. Realistic me thinks we're going to see a Destiny 2 style resale clusterfuck. Time will fucking tell. I think most of the community is on the same page and want the Division to be a success in 2018. But I also think there are two schools of thought. There are people like me who thinks the game will succeed based on fixing the problems. And there are people who genuinely believe that hype and fucking persuasion and a big PR budget will make the game a success. Well, if you fix the fucking problems, the game will publicise itself. Put simply, when I go to a fucking car mechanic, I want my fucking exhaust pipe fixed. I don't pay him money to convince me that noisy exhaust pipes are fashionable this year. The Division is in a better place than last year. They need to capitalise on this and work on fixing all of the fucking problems. Dear Lord, I hope they don't spunk the entire pedo-cash budget on fucking PR. Before I go, I'd also like to give a big thank you to all my Patreons for your unswerving support. I am, as ever, incredibly grateful for your blind faith and, frankly, poor judgment. I have some new things rolling out on Patreon to keep us busy in 2018, so stay posted. I would also like to extend my sincerest thanks to Kal from KalStreams, who was instrumental and probably in some way legally or ethically fucking culpable for setting up my Twitch channel. Don't blame me for what happens now. It's all his fault. Thank you, Kal. My parting thought for this video would be this. I asked someone whose advice I value greatly if there's anything I should make sure to mention in this video, and they simply said this, and I quote, "Just a word to content creators going forward on the new age of journalism and journalistic integrity." The internet is the Wild West of journalism. It's the new frontier. When people tell its history in years to come, some people will be remembered as bullshitters and shills, as content creators who received inducements to dishonestly advertise when their fans thought they were telling the truth. Some people will be remembered for actually having the odd principle and a bit of fucking integrity, which they stuck to, even if it wasn't profitable. I will be remembered for being unpleasant and mildly annoying, but this isn't about me. Let's be honest, the internet is awash with creators saying whatever the fuck is popular, fashionable or profitable. They will say, do or fucking support whatever they think in the moment will help them get success. I'm sure someone will watch this video knowing damn well that they took money to lie to their own fans and supporters, and I wonder how that makes them feel right now. My thought for 2018 is content creators today are effectively journalists for a lot of people. Maybe some people need to accept that responsibility with the same fucking enthusiasm with which they accept payments, freebies, gifts, and favours. If 2017 has showed us one thing, it's that gamers are not fucking stupid. They are getting wise to the industry bullshit, and they have frankly demonstrated that they have had enough. Well, I think that's enough preaching for one day. I don't want to be known as the Jim Jones of the division. Okay, that's a total fucking lie. I would love to be known as the Jim Jones of the division. Anyway, I hope 2018 is a good year for the fucking lot of you. But for now, good luck and happy hunting.